Right now, we want to talk about what's happening here in Charlotte. Of course, making the news around social media, the presence of Border Patrol agents all around the area and with their operations taking place and feeling their presence known. Bringing back now Charlotte City Council member Malcolm Graham. Thank you, Mr. Graham, for joining us here this morning on Live Impact News.
I'm glad to be here with you again.
Councilman Graham, now that these operations are underway, they began Saturday there at First Ward Park. You were here on Friday as well. Now that they're underway, what are you hearing from residents?
Both are rightfully so afraid, scared, anxious. What's happening on the streets of Charlotte is simply racial profiling. They don't have a list of 10 or 12 bad guys that they're trying to search for or arrest. It's anyone that's brown, that may be a Latino or Hispanic descent, and they're just pulling them over. It's un-American. Obviously, individuals who break the law should be prosecuted, but everyone is due process. And what's happening on the streets of Charlotte, like what happened on the streets of Chicago or Washington or New York, it's just un-American, and people are rightfully so concerned about the behavior of the Border Patrol officers.
On Friday, you called their deployment politically motivated. Now that the operations again are underway, anything change that or reinforcing that?
It's just a reinforcement of it. It's almost like the circus is in town. A traveling road show from, again, DC, New York, Chicago, now Charlotte, and soon to be in New Orleans. It's not making our community any safer. It's not providing any due process to individuals who deserve them. It's not really doing anything other than demonstrating power and force of a government that has certainly overstepped their authority, coming into local communities and trying to divide rather than bring people together.
Yeah, city leaders last week also saying that people without criminal records are actually being detained in other cities. Now, what are you hearing about the citizens here that are being detained? Because we heard and saw on social media Commander Bovino actually reporting and putting their images out there on social media saying that this criminal or a list of criminals are being taken off the streets in Charlotte and that this is a good thing.
Well, again, part of what's not occurring is accurate and fair communication with the government bodies. And so we are learning too information from social media, which is not really a good way to provide information to local governments about what's happening within their communities. Obviously, they describe this as arresting the worst of the worst. Many of the folks that they're picking up have minor misdemeanors at best. Again, I don't have a full understanding of the individuals that they have arrested because they have not provided us any information. And so we know from news accounts like yourself reporting it, when they find out on social media or other avenues about the circumstances of those being arrested. But again, I go back to my point from earlier, which is racially profiling individuals, right? And under no circumstances should that be allowed. Again, here's a brother who lost his sister in the basement of Emmanuel AME Church, who was racially profiled. She was black and she just happened to be there and she was killed. And so I think we really have to look at this with a broader lens, certainly as I am, about the conduct and the action of the officers in the federal government in this case. Obviously, we want to secure the borders. We want to ensure that the safety of every citizen here in the city of Charlotte, but we also want to ensure that individuals have some due process and that we're playing on a level playing field.
What would you like folks to know, and really Charlotteans, what would you like our residents to know in Mecklenburg County moving forward here in the next few days, if not weeks?
Well, one, that there are a wide variety of churches, organizations, grassroots organizations that have their back, that are working to ensure that we are stronger together, and that the city, the county, the school board, local organizations, grassroots organizations are here to support the immigrant community, to ensure that everyone is given the due process that they are required to have by law, to remain calm, to act in a peaceful manner, that try not to instigate any type of disturbance with the officers who are, I guess, trying to do their jobs. I don't think they're doing a good job at it. But just remain calm, and to hopefully that they will be out of our community sooner than later, and that the folks in Washington, D.C., our senators and our members of Congress will have a meaningful conversation about immigration reform, and try to work together to solve the issue. It is an issue. I acknowledge that, but it should not be solved on the streets of the city of Charlotte.
And by most accounts, on Saturday's protest there at First Ward Park and the march following seemed, all in all, quite peaceful. So maybe more to come as that spreads.
Yeah. Folks should peacefully protest, make sure that their voices are heard. Certainly, that's what our democracy is built upon. Obviously, it's also built upon going to vote. And we just had a recent election weeks ago. There will be another one next year in March for the 2026 election. This is what some of this is really about, right? Power and control. In North Carolina, we have a U.S. Senate race that will be on the ballot, our General Assembly, etc. And people should exercise their right to vote, because that's how you can have immediate and impactful change, to make sure that we have policies in place that reflects the community nationally, as well as here in Charlotte, North Carolina.